When drug makers pulled the weight loss drug fen off the market in 1997, my mom was devastated. It wasn't because the FDA warned that the drug could severely damage her heart or even possibly kill her, but because it was the only thing that had ever worked for her in her long struggle to lose weight. For decades, she had tried every method, only to find herself trapped in a cycle of failure. Fen had offered her a glimmer of hope, and just as quickly, it was ripped away from her. This kind of extreme reaction wasn't about a simple craving for a slimmer body, but rather the deep frustration of a person who had tried everything and still couldn't reach their goal. Her reaction underscores the profound sense of hopelessness many people with obesity feel. It's not just about weight, it's about years of trying, failing, and being told time and again that the solution lies in changing your lifestyle, exercising more, and eating better. While these methods seem straightforward in theory, for many they have proven near impossible to maintain in practice, yielding only marginal results, if any. And this is where the real tragedy lies. For years, society and medical professionals have leaned heavily on a set of recommendations to eat better and move more, as if those alone could be the key. But the reality is much darker, as many people who followed this advice still found themselves unable to lose weight, despite their best efforts. The focus on diet and exercise as the primary treatment for obesity is deeply entrenched, but it has also failed to take into account the complexities of human biology and psychology. The research conducted in the 90s, especially by the NIH, touted the importance of modest weight loss for preventing conditions like type 2 diabetes, and public health campaigns pushed the idea that small, achievable changes could make a big difference. Yet these findings have been distorted by societal pressures and stigmas around obesity. The narrative shifted from moderate weight loss can lead to better health to, if you're obese, it's because you simply don't have the willpower to control your body. This shift only deepens the shame and frustration felt by those who genuinely struggle with weight loss. It ignores the hardwired biological mechanisms that make weight loss incredibly difficult, such as increased hunger and a body's tendency to hoard energy when it senses it's losing fat. This doesn't even take into account the psychological toll of constant dieting, which only amplifies the sense of personal failure. In the context of this ongoing battle, the arrival of GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic and Mounjaro has seemed to promise a miracle. These drugs, which mimic hormones that slow digestion and reduce appetite, have been marketed as game changers in the fight against obesity. On the surface, they seem like a beacon of hope, allowing people to lose weight without needing to rely solely on willpower. And indeed, they do produce results. Patients often lose around 15% of their body weight without the struggle of traditional diet and exercise regimens. But this excitement masks a troubling reality. While the drugs themselves may seem effective, they are not without significant risks, and they also fail to address the deeper issues that contribute to the obesity crisis. First, let's talk about the side effects. Reports of debilitating constipation, vomiting, and other gastrointestinal issues have been widespread, yet these side effects often go underplayed in the rush to promote the drug. More concerning is the fact that these drugs are not covered by most insurance plans for obesity treatment, making them prohibitively expensive for many people who might benefit from them. The cost of these medications is astronomical, and while the hope is that more companies will eventually flood the market and lower the price, the reality is that many people may never be able to afford them, even if they're an effective solution for them. But the risks of GLP-1 drugs go beyond just the physical. As people lose weight and alter their bodies, the emotional and social consequences can be just as devastating. Eating is often a social experience, and for many, their relationship with food is wrapped up in cultural and emotional significance. Suddenly, drastically changing that relationship by using a medication to suppress appetite can have a ripple effect on a person's social life and mental well-being. Moreover, the psychological toll of weight loss can be overwhelming. Losing weight doesn't just change your body, it can also change how people perceive you, how you perceive yourself, and how you relate to others. This can create a conflict, especially for those who have spent years embracing their bodies as they are. The weight loss journey has always been deeply intertwined with our culture's beauty standards, which can lead to profound identity struggles. Those who have worked hard to accept their bodies as they are may feel a sense of guilt or confusion when a pharmaceutical solution offers them a way to change. This disconnect isn't something we've prepared people for, unlike with bariatric surgery, where psychological and nutritional counseling is part of the process. With medications like Ozempic, there's little support to help people navigate the emotional complexities of significant weight loss, leaving them vulnerable to psychological distress that isn't immediately apparent. And then there's the ethical dilemma. While these drugs may offer relief for some, they also contribute to a deeply troubling narrative that obesity is primarily a personal failure that can be solved through external intervention, rather than a condition that needs to be treated holistically. Yes, obesity can contribute to conditions like type 2 diabetes and cancer, but the focus on medication as the ultimate solution risks oversimplifying the problem. It turns obesity into a condition that can be treated with a quick fix, rather than encouraging systemic change in our relationship with food, lifestyle, and health. As these drugs become more widely available and their use becomes more normalized, it's crucial that we address the bigger picture. Yes, they offer hope, but they also raise more questions. How do we support people emotionally through this change? How do we prevent the perpetuation of harmful beauty standards that underlie much of the obsession with weight loss? How do we address the broader social and psychological factors at play? These drugs may be a step forward in some ways, but they don't solve the deeper issues that fuel our collective struggle with obesity. In fact, they may just offer a temporary solution to a much larger, more complex problem. In the end, as more people take this path, we will need to pay attention to the unintended consequences, both physical and psychological, that come with altering one's body in such a drastic manner. While we may be in a new era of thinking around obesity, we must be cautious and prepared to deal with the fallout. Without careful consideration of the broader impacts, this new treatment era might not be the panacea we hope for, but rather a band-aid that distracts from the deeper societal changes we desperately need.